Good morning from Los Angeles. Welcome to Trading with Sergio. I'm glad I'm not wearing the red hat today. What's going on? Oil prices are pulling back a little bit. There's definitely literally a 95% correlation minute to minute between crude oil and SPX. So that's something to be watched. Market got a little oversold, so we're getting a bounce. I'm not sure if I'm buying 100% of it. But we'll see. We'll see how the week goes. Big news week, obviously. Fed decision coming up on Wednesday, and quarterly option expiration, one of the bigger ones, coming up on Friday. And my positions really haven't changed. I had kind of trimmed anyway, and all I'm doing now is waiting for a couple of positions to just work themselves out. Time decay, basically, just waiting for time to take care of them. One of them is on USO. My members know. We have an iron condor. The upper side, the lower end 80-75 put credit spreads are basically gone. But even with IV crush, the call side, the call credit spread side, which were 120, 125s, are pretty close to the money. So they're not getting killed yet, but we have 4 days to go after today. We'll see how that's going to work itself out. If you do look at the crude oil prices, they're in backwardation. If people understand that, meaning like on the futures market, the front months are much higher. I mean, literally much higher than the back months, such as September and December. If you look at crude oil futures, and that's called backwardation. It's either contango or backwardation. Contango is front months are higher than the back months, and backwardation is back end is lower than the front. So if you look at the spot crude, it's about $100 a barrel. If you look at a September crude, it's about 85. So there's about a 15%. So market is expecting that by September crude is going to be 55, basically. So, but there's definitely a very, very tight correlation. Literally, like I'm watching, the 2-minute chart, let's say, on crude and SPX. It's literally tick for tick. There must be an algo that they're running. When crude is selling off, they're buying SPX. When crude is rallying, they're selling SPX. So within the SPX, obviously rotation is fierce, and it's it's a stock market, right? But then people always, are talking about, I mean, if you're dollar cost averaged or owned indexes as a passive investor, you have no complaints. Market's about 3% from its all-time high. Same thing with QQQ, same thing with SPX. But if your portfolio is full of high beta, low earnings or no earnings growth stocks, you got smashed. There are many examples of that. We don't have to go through it. Well, Hood becomes one. I'm kind of surprised about Hood's weakness, actually, Robinhood. It seemed like it had become a proxy for Bitcoin. And not sure why. I don't know if it's justified or not. I'm trying to figure it out, actually. I would like to take a position on Hood, but at some point, but it's just going sideways. Although today, up a little bit, couple 3%, but Bitcoin is up quite a bit today. So I'm not sure why Hood is so correlated to crypto, since only 20% of their business, according to the last earnings report, comes from crypto, and that part of the business was weak, obviously. Less trading because of what's going on with crypto, Bitcoin, ETH especially. They're in their own bear market. We'll go through some charts. We'll just take a look at it. But the fact that it's acting so weak, literally stock is down 50%, right, from its all-time high. And we'll see where things are going to go. Mag 7 is still kind of going sideways on the weekend, and a lot of the Mag 7s are under their 200-day moving averages, which is not a good sign. But we'll see where how they're gonna resolve, such as Microsoft, Meta, Amazon. Google is the best looking one out of all of them. It's down about 15% from all-time high, but technically holding it together at the moment. And those are the generals, right? The Mag 7. If the Mag 7 doesn't rally, I don't think the indexes are going anywhere. You know, and but underneath the surface, a lot of things are moving, and they're moving very sharply. But you know, one must understand about rotation. Rotation is key. I mean, you have to rotate. You can't be in the same stocks, you know, forever and ride it up and down like a, you know, like a roller coaster. You know, a lot of people, and I see on social media or X, they're just all don't talk about the same stocks, about the same 10 stocks. I'm like, bro, there's 10,000 stocks out there. Just do your research, you know, figure out the rotation, and then just take advantage of it. Because if you're stuck in the same stocks, riding it up and down, you're basically running the football 2 yards at a time in a big cloud of dust, and then what's coming out of it? Nothing. And in the meantime, the world's going by you. Opportunity cost. This is if you're a trader. If you're an investor, if you own HOOD and you're going to hold it for the next 10 years, okay, fine. I don't know what's going to happen next hour, let alone next 10 years. But I mean, I look at, you know, technically stock is weak. It was very expensive. Now it's still expensive to its growth rate. But, you know, there's a lot also going on for HOOD at the moment. It's pretty volatile stock, obviously. But if you've been holding HOOD, you're down 50%. Or if you bought it anywhere near 150, if you bought it last April at 30, okay, you're still nursing a double-ish, a little bit more than a double. But you were at 5x. And a lot of fools. In fact, I got into one with a fool yesterday on X, you know. He's like, oh, look at my calls are printing. I'm like, your calls are printing because your underlying is down 50%. Otherwise, your calls wouldn't be printing. I mean, I'm talking cover calls, right? You know, a lot of people are on the notion that they sell cover calls. It's going to give them some protection. Unless you sell really deep into money calls. Let's say when HOOD was 150, if you sold 150 calls and you took in $10, great. Okay, now what? Stock is down $80. Okay, so out of the 80, 10 saved you a little bit. And then what? No, I mean, I just don't understand these people, the way their thought process works. And unfortunately, they have massive amount of following. And then a lot of people follow these fools. And then, you know, I don't know. And, you know, these are all bull market babies, right? They haven't seen the other side of the coin. And internally, rotation wise, you're seeing the inside, you know, the other side of the coin now. So stocks only don't go up. Stocks go up, stocks go down. If you're a trader, you need to trade. You know, trading doesn't mean you buy HOOD at 100 and whatever, or 100 and sell a call. That's not trading. I don't even know what that is. You know, to me, it's like, if you're going to trade, just trade. Take a directional bet. Short. Why don't you short? I'd short HOOD. If you shorted HOOD, you're up 50% for the year. Or call credit spreads or whatever, right? I mean, all these fools know is about selling calls. I'm like, bro, that doesn't work. That only works that works well in a bull market. In a bear market, and these stocks are in their own bear market, and market's only down 3% from the high, but individually, a lot of stocks are in a bear market. Okay, how's that going to help you? You know, you just find out rotation. What's going up? Okay. For the last 3 months until maybe a month and a half ago, all base metals, industrials, precious metals, they were all flying. And then oil took over, obviously. My 52-week high list is full of oil stocks. Do I want to get in now? No. But they had massive moves. While your HOOD has gone down 50%, you're missing a massive move on simple company like ExxonMobil or Chevron, or Valero, or Phillips 66. Look at these charts. Look at these stocks and compare it to HOOD. You know, Wall Street doesn't sleep. Money doesn't sleep. Money has to rotate. Rotation is key if you're a trader. And we're all traders here. I mean, you know, I have an investment account. I have a trading account. And separate the two. Not for your accountant's sake, your taxes, right? Tax treatment on long-term cap gains is much different than short-term trading. Short-term trading is the short-term cap gains. There's a tax at your ordinary income rates. So, to me, it's like, I think people just mix the two. Or what happens is that they really get emotionally involved or create biases for themselves and love a stock, right? Like Hood, let's say, or like Palantir, and it goes from 30 to 150, and then it goes down 50%, and now they're still holding it, riding it up and down. I'm not sure. I don't think that's trading. But again, to each their own. They have their own accounts. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Trading with Sergio every Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. If anybody wants to come on, I'll post a link. In fact, maybe that fool that I got into it last night with on X would like to come on. Okay, here's the link. Oh, I guess they changed that. Well, here's the link. Is that the link? What the fuck? Oh, no, that's not the link. This is the link. That was interesting. StreamYard advertising. I don't want to advertise for StreamYard. There it is. That's the link right there. So good morning, Mike. Good morning, Doug, Traveler, Vartan, İnçbesi Sohber, and Pistol Hour. Good morning, everyone. Pistol Hour. I like that name. And yeah, so let's take a look at what's going on. What else is happening this week? I think there's some economic data coming out, but I don't think it's really that important. Last week, inflation numbers come out. Look, what's going to happen with oil, right? I mean, it depends how long we stay here. If we stay at $100 a barrel, actually, I just bought gas at $5.75 a gallon in California. I'm in LA, and that's $1 higher, literally $1 or more higher. Although we do pay a lot more than the average in the nation. It's $1 or $1.20 higher than a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so if I put 10 gallons in my tank, that's $12-15 more every time I fill up. Okay, let's say I fill up once a week. $60 a year is $750 a year. For the average American, that's huge. That's like a tax, right? And the productivity is not going up just because gas prices have gone up, right? Your paycheck is not going to go up by that much. And if these oil prices, hang out at the $100 barrel level, it's definitely going to slow the economy down. Definitely going to, because the consumer is the economy. 75% of GDP is consumer spending in this country. And if the consumer is, going to work every day and spending an extra $60-80 a month, so what that money they have to cut from somewhere. Where are they going to cut it from? Maybe they won't go to a movie. Maybe they won't go out to eat, and it's all, it affects everything, right? It affects the transportation of goods, obviously. All the trucks run on diesel. I was the gas station I bought the regular gas diesel was like close to $7 a gallon. I'm going like, obviously they're going to have to raise prices, right? All the millions of trucks that are zipping around the country and transporting your goods from one place to your nearest Costco or Walmart or whatever, right? Who's going to eat that? The consumer has to eat that. So, yeah. So if oil prices hang around at 100 and not go higher, let's say they don't go higher. Let's assume we don't go put boots on the ground, because if we go put boots on the ground, we're going to sell off hard. Because look, as much as I agree with what's going on, I put a really good video out. Actually, you guys go check it out. What happens after the bombs stop dropping, right? Why are we there? Anybody know? I get it. I get the nuclear weapons and blah blah blah blah. Okay, so we said the same thing during the Iraqi war. Weapons of mass destruction, proven to be incorrect. Trillions of dollars spent, hundreds of thousands of lives lost on both sides. What came out of that? I still don't know. Okay, this here, Iran. Okay, they have supposedly they have enriched uranium and they're about to create a nuclear bomb and eradicate the U.S. and Israel. Is it? I mean, we did have a aerial campaign about a month and a half, 2 ago. Supposedly, we blew up all their nuclear capabilities. What is this for? I mean, we're 9,000 miles away, and Strait of Hormuz is closed. If this lasts longer than people anticipated, because I think initially market didn't care because everybody thought, okay, this is going to be like a week kind of a thing, and then we're just going to bomb the crap out of them and come out. Well, it's not happening that way, right? So they're retaliating pretty hard. And the longer it goes, the longer the market's going to pay attention to the effects of oil sticking around at $100 a barrel. God forbid it goes to 125, which it could. I mean, there's rumors that we may be putting boots on the ground on Karg Island, which is 90% of Iran's, by the way, it's Iran, it's not Iran. 90% of Iran's oil production happens. Okay, well, if we put boots on the ground, all bets are off. I think we're going to sell off hard, and we're going to sell off very hard. And because that shows that, because there is a neocon part of this administration that wants the war to continue. They want boots on the ground. I couldn't disagree more. I mean, that would be so bad. And I can assure you, folks, if you voted for this administration, they will lose the midterm and they will lose the general elections in a couple more years. Because Trump administration or President Trump said one thing. They said, I'm not for a war. I want to look to end wars. I'm not trying to start a war. Well, we just started a war. So, I mean, people pay attention to these things, and I do understand the safety and security of the United States is paramount, but then why are we doing this, right? And what's going to come out of it? Are the people of Iran going to be better off? There's 95 million people. Are we going to be better off? Are those people going to be better off? I mean, look, I put the video out, I'll repeat it again. Our history in the Middle East with regime changes is not that successful. Okay, so we got rid of Saddam Hussein. Who's in charge there now? One of the ISIS types. We got rid of Assad in Syria. He's in Russia having martinis with Putin. Are the people of Syria better off? How about Libya? Are the people of Libya better off? Are the people of Iraq better off? Are the people of Afghanistan better off? We went to spend trillions of dollars, thousands of lives lost on the military, and then, come out, left all the weapons there. Well, who's in charge in Afghanistan now? The Taliban again. I mean, long term, these things don't work out, and they haven't worked out. I mean, started with the Vietnam War. Okay, did what we did. Cool. All right, and now, it took Vietnam decades to come back to reality. So the point is, if you change the regime, right, the next guy, or we did it in Venezuela now, okay, I'm thinking there's a bigger play here, right? This can't be just about Iran and their nuclear capabilities. I'm thinking there's a much bigger play here, which would be China, right? Because who gets most of their oil? Literally 20% of their oil comes from Iran and Venezuela. Okay, so we went and took out Maduro. I don't know what's going on there. All the propaganda was, oh, people are so happy they got rid of Maduro. I mean, what's happening? There is inflation down in Venezuela. Are they doing better? I'm not sure. Same thing with Iran, right? Okay, all people are celebrating. Mullahs are dead. Okay, who's in charge? Because what happens is that we create these vacuums, and the next guy that shows up is not that much better than the guy that was there. Okay, so, and for me, 95% of Iranians just are like the Americans, right? They just want to go to work, put food on the table, raise a family. That's all they want to do. And then, might makes right. We go to war, we go bomb the crap out of them. Okay. I mean, Iran is a big country with almost 100 million people. So are we expecting the Iranians to take up arms and then go against the guards, the religious relics, and get rid of all these people? Are we trying to create something like that there? I don't know. But then ultimately, if we put boots on the ground, I think it'll be the biggest mistake of the Trump administration. They have done a couple of mistakes, but this would be the biggest mistake. Because this is not Venezuela. We're not going to go in, just grab a guy and put him in jail in New York overnight This is Iran. Iran has capabilities. The only good thing at the moment, China is not backing Iran yet, publicly anyway, or Russia is not, but I'm pretty sure they're sending them weapons. And well, also, President Trump has a big meeting coming up with President Xi of China at the end of the month. And is that going to continue? Is that going to happen? Right? I mean, what if China tomorrow retaliates and takes over Taiwan? You know what will happen to the stock market if China did that? You can kiss your money goodbye, right? Specifically with the high-tech names, with the chip names. So I don't know what the bigger play is. Is the bigger play to create a choke point for China? But then, China is converting to solar mostly. You guys should see some of the pictures of their solar farms that they're creating, So there's a meeting of the two superpowers coming up. I think they're the only two superpowers. We're the incumbent. They're the up-and-coming superpower. China is. Okay. Is that what we're doing this for? Is it going to be worth it? I don't know. I don't know what the long play is here. I really don't know. I mean, I'm trying to read the tea leaves, but oil sticking around at $100 a barrel, it cannot be good for the U.S. economy. It just cannot be. And depends how long. And tomorrow they go shake hands and kiss and make up, all tanks to $70 a barrel. 70 is still reasonably high, and is the damage done already? I don't know. The market's not caring about it at the moment as much as I thought it would, because if you asked me 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Serge, we're going to go bomb the crap out of Iran. Oil is going to go to $100 a barrel. What do you think the stock market's going to be? I wouldn't have said 3% down. I would have said solid 10, 15% down. It's not. Okay, so there is resiliency. Market's holding. Market's not reading much into it. But at some point, it will. And when it does, it'll be fierce. And I'm not sure how this is all going to end up, man. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's read some comments. Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's see. Yeah, I saw that. And Atlassian laid off about 20% or 2,000 people. A week or two ago, Block laid off literally 50% of the workforce. So that's the AI damage that you guys are seeing now. And these are not low-paying jobs, folks. Okay? They're not dig ditchers. Ditch diggers, Jesus. Ditch diggers at Block or Atlassian or Meta. These are high-paying jobs. And AI is still a baby, but as a baby, it's doing some damage. Maybe, 100%. That would be horrible. That would be just the worst thing that we could do. That would be the worst thing that you can do. And here's a fool. No, he's ending a war. What war is he ending? You want to grab the link and come on? We can debate this with you, HM Hug. What is he ending? What war is he ending? What war was there that he's ending? That's a fucking fools, man. Get a clue. You get a clue. Do you even know your fucking history? Jesus fucking Christ. Well, depending on what our goal is. What is our goal? What's the goal? Removal of the regime? Okay. How do you know we're doing fine from the air? They're still going on. They're still retaliating. They're still sending rockets all over the place to their neighboring countries. Yeah, we keep bombing. I don't think you can win a war in a country like Iran by just bombing the shit out of them. Oh, we wanted to take half of Vietnam, but couldn't. Yeah, that's true. When people fight for their country, they fight differently. But, U.S. doesn't understand that. I think that's what I'm trying to put the tea leaves together and figure it out. I don't see any other way. And maybe this is a power play before the big meeting. Although now there's rumors that that big meeting with President Xi of China could be canceled because Strait of Hormuz is closed. Oil is not flowing. So, and Iran is bombing some cargo ships. Well, if they get debilitated, that's how they close the Strait of Hormuz, or they're putting mines or whatever. Okay. If oil doesn't come out, who's going to get hurt the most? Because U.S. is not going to get hurt in this, to be perfectly honest, because U.S. Uses 20 million barrels of oil a day. You can go fact check all this, and we do produce 20 million barrels of oil. So we're okay, right? Well, China, no, Venezuela, and now Iran. I can't put the tea leaves together. It sounds like, we're putting a power play on before the big meeting to bring the Chinese to the table to make a deal with the tariffs, because the tariff musical chairs hasn't ended yet. I don't know where that's going to go, right? I mean, the Supreme Court rejected the tariffs, obviously, but then we'll see how that's going to work out. Santos Ramos, 2296 says, now we got Venezuela, but it's not happening at all. We're getting enough oil for gas price. Yeah, well, it's because we don't need it. We don't need oil and gas from Venezuela. We produce enough to cover our own on a day, 20 million barrels a day, and 20 million barrels we produce. There's plenty of oil and gas production in the U.S. It's not that we need Venezuela. Dennis Kraut Nielsen, the only war Trump stopped is the war between. See, this when you guys do this kind of things, just speak logically, understand what's going on, and speak to me with as opposed to this divisive, polarized bullshit. I mean, politically you may not agree with it, but can we talk some common sense here? Learn your history. Why are we doing it? Okay, you don't like Trump, I understand, but there is a play here. We're all traders here. We're trying to understand what the effect of all this is on financial markets. This is not about politics, not on this channel anyway. But once in a while, I would like to have a civilized, reasonable conversation about these things, because that's my opinion, what's going on. If your opinion is that his diaper is dirty, that's not an opinion. I don't even know what that is. I mean, you can say that and get some, vent out. I get it. Elections are coming up midterm. Don't vote for him. Go vote for the Democrats. And then have a socialist like Mamdani in New York. Maybe you like that. I don't know. But all I'm saying to you guys is that when you do put let's think a little deeper. Let's think like adults here. You know what I'm saying? Let's think like adults here. $420. I'll take $420, bro. Oh, is it Phoenix? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Yeah, $420 I'll take. I just paid $560. Doing fine uniting Iranians against the West. Well, Iranians are against the Western world as they are. I don't think you need to unite them. And I don't believe that either, by the way. I mean, again, I'm from that part of the world. So you have to understand the history of Iran. You have to understand the history of the Shah, right? You have to understand what happened during President Carter's time when they took over, the mullahs took over the U.S. Embassy and took hostages. You have to know, hopefully you know, that we tried to go and rescue the hostages and it failed miserably. All our helicopters crashed. You have to know that Iranian people were being persecuted and killed by the thousands under the Shah, who was a dictator, who was sucking the country's blood dry, whose son is in exile in France, and hopefully we don't put him in charge, right? So all these things, do you know these things, right? So for 45 years now, for 30 years before, Shah persecuted the Iranian people. Because anytime somebody talked against him, including himself, the family, and the family dog got wiped out. So that was the Shah. So Shah is no Mother Teresa. Then the mullahs took over, killed the Shah, or put him in exile, and he died in exile. So Shah was no good. Mullahs are no good. So now we're trying to get rid of the mullahs. Okay, we're killing him every day. Okay. Well, for each one you kill, there's going to be 10 to take their place. How long can that go? I don't know. So lesser of the two evils? Is that where we're at? Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see how this is going to turn out. But there is definitely going to be an economic effect if oil prices stick around at $100 a barrel. This is going week 3 now. Okay, this goes on for a couple of months. It's definitely going to affect consumer spending. So that's what I want to talk about here. I don't want to talk about Trump's diaper and do this and do that. That's what I want to talk about, right? And that's why I put the link out. That's why I want some of you folks to come on and talk reasonably about these things, as opposed to taking each other's eyes out, because it doesn't make sense. And I'm trying to read the tea leaves. I'm trying to trade. I'm trying to figure out what's good, what's the best trade I can put on under the circumstances. So the trade that I put on, there's the link. If anybody wants to show up, please grab it. All I ask that you're in a quiet place with good internet reception, okay? And and I put the trade on. I put an iron condor on because I'm just, okay, if crude oil is in backwardation, they have weekly options. I'll put the iron condor on weekly options, take care of IV crush. Okay, see, I'm trying to make sense to you guys, as opposed to just insult people and say, oh, Trump is this and Biden is that and this is that, and like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. You all know? What do you know? Okay. Okay. I've been seeing planes in the skies here. Is where is there? Pistol Hour? I don't know where you are. I have no idea. We all know. Okay, cool. I hope so. I don't like war, but I absolutely stand 100% behind America. 100%. And I said that on the last video that I did. I take my hat off to the military. They're going doing a job, dirty work. They're dying out there and killing so we can do this, right? For our freedom. People are putting their lives on the line for our freedom so we can get on YouTube and yak about some shit. You have to respect that. I have utmost respect for our military, like to no end. Okay. You're a man of few words. I don't know what you're doing. You all are men of, or women of few words. Exactly. That's a fact. Okay. Yeah. Actually, at the gas station I bought, it's the cheapest gas station. It's called the Thrifty. Unleaded is like $5.59, and there's a middle, I guess, $5.89, and super is $6.09. So we're there. But that, as you know, in California, I think about $1 of that before this last time, about $1 of that is like clean air tax and bullshit tax and this tax and that tax and like fucking, I don't know. I'm stuck in the West Coast. That's all I know. Fucking stuck. That's true. I remember that. I was very young, but I remember that. That was like you had to, I think they did like a license plate switcheroo thing. Like if you had an odd ending, you can buy gas one day. There were gas lines around gas stations, but then we're not the same situation, obviously. I don't think we're going to get there. But I recall that, yeah. There were like gas lines and something like that. I remember that, yeah. Hey, again, this is not the channel for that. Come back tomorrow with the other channel. Come back tomorrow with the other channel. Come back 3 p.m. tomorrow. Show me the Money Club. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on the Right Share Guy YouTube channel. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, all right. Let's go take a look what's going on with the markets. What is going on? We rallied at the open and we're just kind of going sideways. Bitcoin rallying, Ethereum rallying. I agree with that. I wish I could. My daughter's graduating college in May, and I'm hoping she goes to New York for medical school. That's going to be expensive, but it is what it is. My son's still in high school. That's the goddamn problem. Otherwise, I'd be like, adios. I mean, I'm not a billionaire, but I'm fine. And they're all leaving California, by the way, because billionaire tax is coming. God knows, because after the billionaire tax, because once they all leave, they move to Florida, they don't want to pay the taxes, right? They'll probably come after us, the middle class, whatever middle class is left. I would like to escape California myself, but I can't. At the moment, I can't. So, East Coaster stuck in the West Coast. That's who I am. Anyway, let's look at some charts. This is the S&P 500 for the day. It's kind of going sideways. Crude 115.96. Come on now. Let's pay those iron condors off. I have a decent position. I still think it's a good position. So, the 3 P's, folks: patience, position size, and planning, and then we'll be all right. We took in a bunch of premium, sold the iron condor. Now we wait. That's why you do iron condors. Let data decay take care of you. I mean, could it go wrong? Of course it could. But, at least it's a defined risk downside trade, right? Let's go look at the big charts. Put your questions up, please. And if you guys want to come on, the link is up there. Grab it. So this is USO, which is crude. And here's my iron condor. You guys can see by these lines, right? So we're very close to the up. Call credit spread. The put credit spread is dead. I was down here. When I put the position on, we were right about them in the middle, about 106. And then we rallied, So what's the remedy for this, right? So I took in, I think, like $1.30, $1.40. Well, my max loss is 5, so I know I cannot lose more than 5. Well, 5 minus 140 is 360. So if by Friday, USO, I don't think it's going to be down here. If it's above 125, which is above my short strike, I may think of rolling. I may think of taking the L. Preferably, it's somewhere around here or lower, so both sides expire worthless, right? And then for next week, I'll go put on a much higher iron condor, maybe like 95, 90, and 145, 150, going out another week, because implied volatility on this thing is through the roof. I want to take advantage of that. That's the best trade I see. Since oil is rallying, a lot of stocks got smashed, such as UPS. I do like UPS down here, actually. That thing sold off from 122 to 98. I long UPS still in my long-term port at 96. I was at 122. Now we're at 98 because of this oil thing. But then, we're going to hold. I'm long Kava. That's doing great today. Up to 87. I'm long at 58, 59 range. I'm long Netflix at 83 range. We're doing fine there. I'm long Google. I bought it in April. So I have May 350 calls expiring. I've sold them at $26. They're down to like 4. But I'm just going to keep it. Cost on Google is 152. And I do like Google here, though. I think it's just going sideways before it explodes another 100 points. So that's my favorite Mag 7. So yeah, that's my long, and I'm long Lulu. I'm long Lulu at 182. We're 161, so I'm down about 10% on that. Well, earnings are coming out on that. We'll see where that goes. So those are the 5 stocks I'm long. I wanted to go long NVO, Novo Nordisk. I still may at some point. But oil is definitely affecting things, right? But then if you pay attention to rotation, what's doing well? Aluminum is doing well, like AA, 52-week high. Why don't you guys trade these stocks as opposed to trade Hood? And here's Hood, right? Can't get out of its own way. Can't push itself out of a paper bag. Here's SoFi. Everybody loves SoFi. I don't know why. It's just a fucking bank. My stock is even down today, 1750. I think it's on its way to 15. Just go buy JP Morgan. I'd rather do that than go buy SoFi. I'm not sure. But again, to each their own. Again, none of this is trading, financial, or investment advice. What I do is very risky. Do your own due diligence. This is IBIT. Are we doing the same thing we did last time? As you guys see here, last time we just kind of went sideways to a little higher, back into resistance, and then rolled over and died. So Are we doing the same thing? Or is this the bottom for Bitcoin? Was that the bottom at 60,000 for Bitcoin? We're going to find out. I don't know. And was that the bottom on Ethereum at 1,800? That's Ethereum to ETF, iShares ETF. Is it? I don't know. It looks like the same thing that it did last time. Go walking into resistance and then roll over and play dead. But, I mean, it's constructive. Don't get me wrong. I'll take it because I have a bunch of BMNU shares that are going to get called away, hopefully, after like 4 months. It started back here with covered strangle and then selling calls, selling puts month after month after month. I think my cost basis is reasonable. Silver and gold are just kind of going trading range-ish, kind of a thing going on there. They're not going down. That's one. I think the next leg up is probably in another month away on gold and silver. And now I'm started watching, you know, some silver stocks like Hecla Mining. I'm not in it yet, but it's getting interesting. Excalibur Mining, EXK. I mean, Endeavor Silver, sorry. So that's getting interesting. Pan American Silver. On the next leg up, I will definitely be buying these, all of these. AG, which is First Majestic Silver. Love these pullbacks on these stocks. These stocks have pulled back like 30% plus. HYMC, you know, just rotate, man. Just rotate. Don't be stuck in the same goddamn stocks, okay? And base metals, Freeport copper stocks are doing reasonably well. AA looks good. Century Aluminum looks good. Steel stocks look good. Industry, some of the industries looked good until this oil thing happened. And we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen with those. I was thinking of actually selling some put credit spreads on Lear and AGCO. Yeah, Lear I like right at 200 EMA. If you're going to do it, this is the place to do it. Maybe do a April 115, 110 put credit spread there. AGCO, which is farm equipment maker. Great earnings. Nice pullback though, 144 down to 120. And DEE, which is Deere, again, bigger company, pulling back to 50 MA from 674 down to 575. See, just wait for your turn, and when the opportunity presents itself, put your trade on, as opposed to riding the same goddamn stock up and down. Right? We're trading. We're not doing anything else. Take some directional bets, folks. A lot of people are afraid of taking directional bets. I'm not. So, Tesla is hanging right at 200 EMA. I mean, we're going to have a move here. Kind of looking reasonably neutral to bullish, I guess. Apple back at the 200 EMA. A lot of stocks, a lot of Max 7. The generals have been shot. Microsoft was shot to pieces. Way under its 200 EMA. I mean, if you look at Microsoft, 555 down to 400, that's a pretty decent pullback, right? NVIDIA still sideways for the last 7-8 months, just sideways. So if these stocks is NVIDIA, Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta don't go anywhere, which they don't look like they're going anywhere soon, Triple Q is not going anywhere. SPX is not going anywhere. Look at Triple Q, just dead man's EKG. Same thing with SPX. That would pull back a couple of percentage points, but you know, we're nearing some interesting levels here at 6,600 on SPX, which is the 200 EMA. So we don't hold there. We may get a little whoosh going here, but it's all depending on USO, man. I mean, if you look at USO's intraday and SPX's intraday, for each rally, SPX sells off. For each pullback on USO, SPX rallies. So there's definitely very, very tight correlation between USO and SPX. This is TLT, which is the inverse. Interest rates have shot up by 40, 50 basis points because of oil. So if oil goes higher, what could happen? Inflation could come back. Not that inflation went anywhere, but if you listen to the government, inflation is fine, which is bullshit. It's not fine. But if oil sticks around at 100-ish, Inflation is going to come back because everything's price is going to go up. And the consumer may just slow down spending, discretionary spending on stuff that they usually spend on. Maybe they won't go out to eat. Maybe they want, maybe, what the fuck is this? Maybe they want, right, taking an extra vacation. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to find out. What else is going on? I have my 52-week high list waiting on some pullbacks. Lear is one. Bungie is another one. I like these stocks, especially making 52-week highs. Brunswick, it got hurt, obviously, with high oil prices, kind of into support now. Yeah, I mean, just rotate, man. But then if you look at Exxon, there you go. You couldn't have made money, 120 to 160 on that? Yeah, okay. Well, if you're stuck in mud with the same idea that you had for the last 2 years and you don't rotate, that's Chevron, this is BP. Look at these beautiful uptrends. Just trade these. Why do we have to trade garbage? I'm not saying Hood is garbage, but it's just dead. It's like dead money. Why would I trade Hood? I mean, it's indecision pattern going sideways. Okay, upper end, I don't know, 80, whatever. Upper end of the trading range is 85. Lower end is 68, 60, 70. Okay, well, whichever way we break, that's where we're going to go. Is this a base? Are we setting up for a bullish divergence on Hood? I don't know. If we make a lower low, I will pay attention to Hood on the long side probably, but not aggressively. And yeah, I mean, there is 10,000 stocks. Just got to pay attention to those. So that's the recap of what I'm seeing. I don't know what you folks are seeing, but hopefully you guys are seeing the same thing I'm seeing. All righty. I escaped California. I was there young. Yeah, very high. That's because, sir, I can see you're watching it on your phone. So there's 2 YouTube streams. There is a vertical one and there's a horizontal one. I think you're watching the vertical one. That's why it's so small. If you go to the other live stream, which is the horizontal one, and you can flip your phone sideways and then they look bigger. But if you're watching on your phone, it's still going to look small. Sorry, there's not much I can do about that. Sergio, if the U.S. is producing oil at the same level as our usage, then why is such an effect? Yeah, very good question. That's called collusion, sir. That's called collusion, right? That's what the gas companies do. They're vultures. They got to make money, you know? And then it's looking at the, you know, everything moves with the short, with the spot price, right? And I guarantee it, folks. So oil shot up $1.20. I mean, well, oil shot up. Gas prices shot up $1.20 in my neighborhood. Okay, tomorrow, let's say we shake hands, we kiss up, make up, Iran, everybody goes home. Oil prices go down. Do you guys think the gas prices are going to go down as fast as they went up? No, they're going to go down nickel at a time. They go up fast, they come down very slow. That's called collusion. That's what they're Shell, Chevron, all these refineries, right? Oh, I mean, the oil that they're using to produce gasoline is, I'm 100% sure, is not $100 a barrel. But then that's what they do. They're good at it. There's not a regulated market. They can do whatever the heck they want. That's the reason, Kyle. Totally understand this. Yes, sorry. I can't help that. No, on my desktop. Well, you're on the wrong stream. Like, I can see myself on 2 screens when I'm doing the stream now. One is a big horizontal one and one is the small one. So get out of that one, go to the other one, click on the other live stream link, and then you'll see the bigger screen. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube did that, but I don't know. U.S. produces mostly dry crude, but we import heavy crude. Okay, cool. I agree with you, Doug. Yeah, but okay, so Vartan, I can see you. You're on the vertical stream. I can see that. So is Pistol Hour. You guys are all on the vertical. Because I see who's watching, and is it on the vertical? Is it on the horizontal? Like Doug is not on vertical, so I'm sure he sees me fine in the big horizontal one. You got it? There you go. Cool. Man, turn around. Just listen. You don't have to. You have to watch. So, anything else going on with you guys? Any good trades? You guys have any ideas? Any ideas? No? I don't know. I don't have it. I'm just waiting for this thing to settle down a little bit. I was going to day trade once. I would have made some money. I didn't. I'm like, not into it today. You're horizontal. Okay, cool. I'm vertical at the moment, but I could be horizontal after the show. Take a nap. Not much is going on, man. All right, so let's take a look at the quick correlation actually between oil and. So I watch intraday charts as well. Once in a while, I do dabble into day trading. I actually opened the day trading account. So this is SPX, 2 minute, 1 day. Okay, this is the open. This is what's been going on. So after the open, we had a couple of little gyrations. And why? Okay, so this is, okay, pay attention, folks. This is SPX. This is USO, 2 minute, same thing. So USO is the crude ETF, right? Okay, so when we did rally here, right? Solid handles, by the way. Okay. Well, if I wasn't dyslexic and didn't type incorrectly, that's USO, right? So when USO, this is the open, right off the open, USO sells off, market rallies. USO rallies, okay, so from the time, well, I'll give you guys the time codes too, so you guys understand how correlated all this shit is. So this is 7:10 a.m., 7:10 a.m. to 7:42 a.m. In those half hour, USO rallied from 114 to 117. Okay, so let's see what SPX did. So 7:10 to 7:34. Okay. You guys see the correlation right there? That's 7:10 right there. And then we sold off from 67.20 to 66.90. That's 30 handles. Okay, so it's so correlated. It's uncanny how correlated this shit is at the moment. So if you're going to day trade or something, you better have two charts open, one USO, one SPX, and then you can trade if you like. That's SPX, and here's USO. Look how correlated it is. One goes up, the other one goes down. So USO did rally all the way to 119. From 119, we'll pull back all the way to 115 and a half. Well, let's see what happened to SPX. And that was the bottom right there, right there. That was the bottom, right? Although the rally in SPX was not really as much as you would have thought with the sell-off in USO. And we're still kind of going sideways, hanging in the VWAP level. So there's still, let's see, oh, it's 11 o'clock. There's still maybe a trade. I don't know. Where are we at? 66.85. I mean, 66.95, 6,700s are probably the trade if you're going to trade right at the money. The good thing is intraday IV has gotten crushed on these. We were trading at like 30%. Now we're down to about 20%. Well, that's because theta decay as well, right? These are 0 DTs, by the way, folks. So I'm not telling you to do this or that. All I'm saying is there is definitely very, very tight correlation between USO and SPX. That's all I'm saying. Do as you like. We're all adults. We make our bed and sleep in it. That's it. What else do I like? I like IPGP. It's up already 6. DLCN was my trade. I had a put credit spread. Sold them at a couple of bucks. Bought them back at 10 cents. So that worked out. Just got to trade, man. Trade what's in front of you. DLCN. Oh my God, it's 74. Holy shit. Look at that chart. Oh. Do we dare sell some call credit spread on that? While the Bollinger Bands are opening up? Dewey. That's beautiful chart, man. Dewey Dare. Go sell some weekly, put call credit spreads in that. Let's see where they are. Stock is 74. Friday is 80s are $1. Holy shit. 80, 85s. Sell the 80s. Buy the 85s. 60-cent credit. Max loss 5. Is it worth it? No. It's going to cost me $2,200 for 5 lots to take in $250. 10% though. More than 10% actually. About 14% for 4 days. If the stock is under 80, you collect all that money. But the stock is so strong, the upper band. Are they want to walk it up? The only bad thing is it's just volume is pretty anemic. I probably will do that tomorrow if it rallies some more. So not everything goes to the sky, but not everything goes down forever either. Oh, where's HIMS these days? HIMS had a big news rally, right? It's hanging in there after that. Okay. PayPal, nowhere. Although it's kind of going sideways. It looks like it found some footing at 40. What else? I like MVTS. Oh, actually, 10:59 night open at 11 and change. Okay. NBIS is having a masterful day today. Another gap up. The other one's not so much. NBIS, IREN, CIFR, although IREN is kind of hugged at 200. That may be ready for a move here, especially if MACD goes above 0. CIFR, these are all data center builders. I like Cypher's chart too. It's pretty good. So got to be patient though. If you're going to take a directional, be patient, folks. Because taking a directional with options, you have to be right on the 2 Ds, direction and duration. If you're not, you're going to join the 90% loser crowd. But I like this chart quite a bit. I like that one a lot. Yeah, okay, I'll finish my hour. I'll go to the front, answer some questions. I can't wait. Oh, I have my ZSL also getting called away from me this week. That's nice. Clean up the account. ZSL. ZSL inverse 2x ETF for silver. Yeah, if it's above 20, we're going to get called away. If BMNU is above 2, we're going to get called away. USO, we're hoping for the iron condor to die. I have like, I think 15 or 20 lots of that. So, I don't know, I think in like 3 grand. It's not bad. Not too shabby. Just patience. SPX is not just going sideways. So are we going to sell off? Do you guys believe this rally? I don't believe it. I don't believe today's rally whatsoever. I mean, this looks pretty ominous to me. 6,600, 200 EMA. If we take that out, this looks pretty ominous. Next stop is going to be 65, obviously. There's some support there. I don't know. MACD is under 0. Don't like it, technically anyway. But chopsticks are chopsticks. SPX intraday. Yeah, we're just going sideways. Now we're gonna go back to 67.20 at the end of the day. Is that what's gonna happen? These are 0 DTEs, 6,700. They're $6. Yeah, well, they should be. The right thing is sell premium after the morning move. You know, maybe leg into an iron condor or something. I didn't do it. I was just doing other things. But we'll see. We may take a directional after all at some point. 11 o'clock, 12 on, 2 hours to go. It all depends on oil. Oil rallies. I am dying to buy some Google options. I shouldn't be dying about anything. It's up to, I want to look at like the May 350s. Actually, I'm short the May 350s in my long-term port. Sold them at 26 2.5 months ago. They're down to 4. I expire worthless, lower my cost basis some more. See, in the long-term account, maybe you could do some cover calls or things like that after the stock goes up 100%. But these fools, they buy the stock at 70, sell at 70, call the stock like hood, goes to 150. They keep rolling up, lose money. Then they go sell long-term. Every time they roll up, they have to go out and up in order to do it with credits, and the stock tanks 50%. Now they're holding the bag. I'm like, I don't understand this philosophy whatsoever. So Google 350s, they're down to 350. Wow, maybe I should start buying some. Yeah, I'll just wait until the market settles down. How much are the Junes? I bet you they're like $8. No, 625, 640. IV got crushed on those. Okay. Well, IV in general got crushed because VIX got crushed today, I'm pretty sure. VIX got up to 35, right? Hopefully you guys understand the correlation between VIX and the market. I get a lot of people go, when VIX goes up, market goes down. I'm like, not necessarily. And then they go, when VIX goes down, market goes up. There is not that much of a correlation as you guys may think it is, but it is correct. It's more for like selling premium and buying premium. When VIX is 35 or 30 or whatever, you should shy away from buying premium, especially on indexes. Yeah, I got up to 35 on a couple, 4 or 5 days ago. Wow, okay. Now IV crush is happening, which is good. So, you know, buying options directionally is a lot better at 24 VIX than it is at 35 VIX. So you guys understand. It's better at 20. It's better at 15 if you're going to take directional bets. So when VIX is low, you got to go directional. When VIX is high, you got to be a seller of premium. Very carefully, though, because selling premium is not risk-free. A lot of fuckheads on X and YouTube, they go, oh, sell premium. I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, yeah, here's one. Here's one. What was that one on Friday? Ulta Beauty. Big company, right? So, down another 12. Okay, so you sold premium in Ulta Beauty. You sold puts. Well, it only went from 720 to 520 in about like a week. And you took in how much money? You took in on your 700 puts? $20? Well, they're only 200. Man, there's such idiots out there, man. Oh, I sell puts. Okay. Knock yourself out. You're eating it. Anyway, that's life. Somebody's got to eat it. We all can't make money. Anyway. Yeah, you're talking about Jay. He's going to be my guest tomorrow on the other channel. I don't know if he's doing the right thing, day trading, but maybe I'll help him out a little bit on that one. Lemonade was a good trade at 50, Doug. Yeah. Good. Perfect. That's my member right there. Vertical view on TV because you're on the wrong link. There's 2. If you go on YouTube, on your TV, there's going to be 2 live stream links. One is for vertical view, one is for horizontal view. You're on the vertical view. It doesn't matter if you go on an 80-inch TV, it's still going to be vertical. Because on the side, I see that you're on the vertical live stream, not on the horizontal one. Okay? So, misunderstanding. I cannot change you. You have to change yourself. All right. I think we did enough damage. We we'll see. We cannot solve the world's problems. What we can do is we can understand the problems and then maybe put on a trade that's beneficial to our pocketbook. So with that said, may all your longs skyrocket and may all your shorts tank. There is a way to short things, folks. Stocks go up and down, not only up. Okay? So behave accordingly, because otherwise you're going to become a long-term investor from a trader. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like it. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. All you get is the real deal here. There's no fluff. There's no spin. There's no bullshit. I'm not into it. You know, oh, today is Monday. Okay, cool. I'll post my positions on the community page of the YouTube channel, fully transparently, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Again, none of this is trading, financial, or investment advice. Do your own due diligence. What I do is very risky. Don't follow me. But if you decide to follow me, don't be upset, because I do lose money. So once in a while. When am I going to trade live? I don't know. When I have time. I would have traded live today if there was something to do, but there's nothing to do. So I'm just waiting for my positions. I put on the positions. I'm a swing trader. I'm not a day trader. So when you put on a position, you just have 3 P's take care of it, right? Patience. You got to be patient. You just got to let the thing work for you. Because otherwise, like I don't have the time to be glued to the screen to day trade. I will do it again, probably, maybe. I don't know. I'm actually thinking of starting a Discord channel, so I may do it there. I don't know. We'll see. But I did day trade actually on Friday, very successfully. Made quick, I don't know, it's like $700 or something. I was about to day trade today, but then I got another call, which I would have made money actually. But then woulda, coulda, shoulda, doesn't matter. If my aunt had balls, it'd be my uncle. So it doesn't work like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it again. It was fun. You'll just be watching the screen instead of my face. That's all. All right. So I see a lot of you are on the vertical. So for confusion, arrest the confusion, there's 2 live stream links when you go to my YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on X, which I don't know if you are, it's horizontal. But if you're watching, go to YouTube to the channel, there's 2 live stream links. One, YouTube is not doing a good job, but then, hey, YouTube, put like a sign that says, okay, this link is for vertical stream. This link is for horizontal stream, YouTube. Because people are getting confused. They're clicking on the first one they see, and that happens to be the vertical. So for the people who don't like the vertical, you need to click out of it, come out of it, go back into YouTube channel, look at the other link, which is horizontal. But YouTube says they have this little a cell phone icon next to it, meaning it's vertical. And the one that doesn't have it is horizontal. So next time, click on that one, which will be Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. You have a great day. Let's watch paint dry for 4 days. Let's have those iron condors go away, and then we'll put the new ones on. And other than that, have a great day.